Okay, now we got exposed piece of black wire there. That camera doesn't want to focus today. Oh well. Like I said, I'm not Steven Spielberg here, so this. Sorry if the video is a little shoddy. And I'm just going to tin both sides of the wire. Just put a little solder on both sides of that wire. It's like pre-soldering. Making sure you got solder on both ends of this wire, so when you connect it to whatever you need to connect it to, it makes a real solid grip right off the bat. I like to do it this way because when you're dealing with laptops, you don't want to have your this is very important. You don't want to have your soldering iron on a motherboard or a circuit board pressing down, like if this is the soldering iron, pressing down for long periods of time. You'll fry every component on the thing. So if you tin both sides of what you're going to solder before you attach it, you only have to put the soldering iron on there for a second for it to make a good solder connection. And then let's take this and attach it to the jack. Nice. So now we got our jack with a red wire and a black wire coming out of it. Alright, another thing we can do while the drill is charging, the batteries in the drill is charging, is actually replace the tip on the power adapter. This is the power adapter that they brought into the shop. That tip has hot glue on it. It's bent. It's like, I don't know if I've ever seen one that mangled. Well, what we're going to basically do is just snip it. And now we have that on the end. What we're going to do is take this radio tip I showed you earlier and this. These are adapter plugs. You get them at Radio Shack. And this tip is going to solder to here, to the wire, and then the adapter plug plugs right into the end of this tip. So let's get this part ready first. So what we want to do is expose some of the wire on the inside. So you just kind of rip off the shielding there, and you'll see that there's a grounding wire that basically surrounds the outside of this white wire on the inside. You can just take the grounding wire and do one of these. You want to keep it. You don't want any strands of that grounding wire touching this tip. So we're going to twist it up and we're going to cut it real short. Like that. And then we're going to expose the tip of the white wire here. I think we're going to need a little bit more. There we go. And we twist that up. Trim it a little bit if you have to, just to get the strands. There's a lot of strands of wires here, and you just cannot have them touching each other. So we have that there. Now basically what I'm going to do is take this, which the adapter plug plugs into, see the adapter plug fits in like that, and we're going to take this and we're going to attach it to this. Now you see how the grounding wire is short here and the positive wire is long. We're going to do the opposite on this. We're going to make the positive wire short and the grounding wire long. This way it'll fit right together with that. And the reason I do that is because I definitely don't want the ground to touch the positive, the grounding wire to touch the positive. So that's why I cut them different lengths so they don't have a chance to touch each other. And this, I'm going to get rid of this long thing because this wire is not as thick as this wire. So I want to make as little of this white wire showing as possible. Try to make it so this thick black wire comes almost all the way to the top. Now in that trimming, I got little strands of wire all over my desk here, so I'm just clean that up. Are you finding this interesting too, Dad?
Mm-hmm, listen.
Okay, there's that. Probably going to cut it about there. So we're left with that. And like I said, we're going to make one long, one short. One long and one short to the same ratio that that's long and short. Tell you what, I never even tested these wires to make sure that the voltage is making it to this point. So let's do that now. First off, you make sure that they are not touching each other. And then you can plug it in. As long as they're not touching each other, you're okay. And then you can take your voltmeter. Well, one sign that's not good is this power brick. The light's not on, and it's making a funny little squeaky noise when I plug it in. So this is definitely bad. I don't know if there's anything we could really do for this. It's still doing the same thing, so let me just check the voltage on this anyway. We're getting 19 volts through it. We're actually getting 19 volts. And then the light on this thing just came on. Maybe there was a short somewhere in the cords. Let's see if we could duplicate that. The light's on now, we're getting 19 volts, so maybe something got jarred loose. I'm going to try to unplug it and plug it back in again. That's odd, I've never really seen that before where something magically comes to life. What could that be, capacitors charging in the power adapter?
Well, could be. If they were bad.
So this thing might not be good. I mean, we might not have enough, it might be damaged to the point where it's not putting out any amps, but at least we're getting the voltage. Let's try that again. Yeah, we're getting to 19 volts. Let's pretend that this is good for the time being, until anything proves otherwise. Okay, so unplug this before we do anything else. Give it a second to discharge, and then let's get back to the task at hand here. I'm going to set this voltmeter to test continuity. I'm going to put the red in the tip just so I know which one of these wires coming out of it is positive. The red's in the tip, and then I'm going to touch. You hear? Okay, we got a beep, so I know this is the positive lead. So I'm going to mark that. I don't have any red, so I'm going to mark it with blue. Okay, just so I remember. For whatever reason. Okay, so positive needs to be short and the ground needs to be long, so I'm going to line that up right now. Okay, so I cut it like that, one short, one long, so it'll match up with this. And I'm going to put some solder on the end here. Okay, they're soldered. Now I want to do the same thing to the power adapter tip, the wire. Okay, I got a little bit of wire in my fingers there, so let's twist this up. Trim it a little bit. And then let's solder them up. The wires in these power adapters tend to resist solder, so you got to get them pretty hot. I'm just putting a nice coat of solder on that wire there. Gonna do same for this one.